Hello everybody. So in today's video, we're going to talk about power and victim blaming, and we're going to talk about why society needs to stop. No, I get into a little rant in this video, I'm not going to lie, because there's just so much to say about this topic. And it's just so wrong how people who gain money then uses their power to take advantage of the little guy. I don't like that. I will never like that. So here is my opinion about everything going on in this world, and I only bring it to a YouTube, level because I feel like the bigger level deserves its own video. Like the producer DS Snyder, yeah, he deserves his own video. Weinstein deserves his own. Is that his name? Yeah. Henry is what? Anyways, all those people really deserve their own video. But I am talking about you people, and I'm talking about these musicians, and I'm talking about everybody in this world, politicians, everybody, because everybody who gains a position of power or gains money uses their power to do bad things instead of good things, and we let these people be in power. Why? There's so much good people in this world that could have a platform if we gave it to them, but we won't give the good people a platform. We give the bad people a platform. For what? For them to ruin the world even more? Anyways, you see, I have a lot to say about this, so let's get into the video. Okay? Hello, everybody. So, why am I sounding like that? Let's try that again. Hello, everybody. It is Tayleóne Dee here, back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about something we see a lot in society. Because it's been coming out a lot in these past few weeks. It feels like it's been a year already. These 2 months have been a year on YouTube. It hasn't, but it feels like it. So let's see, how do I start this? Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about power dynamics and victim blaming. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because it needs to be talked about. So, I got a lot to say. Alright, so this is my disclaimer. Anybody who I talk about in this video, it's all my opinion. None of these are facts. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. And please do not go and bully anybody that I speak about in this video. But these things need to be said. Because it's not just these people, it's like a thing that society uses against people. And it's just really weird and shameful, actually. My computer is preparing to ship right now, which is really cool, which means it will be here in the next few weeks, depending on the delivery service they choose. So, anyways, I cannot wait. I'm going to talk about Britney Spears and her conservatorship, finally. I've been holding on to this for quite a while. It's probably a reason I can't film any other videos because, let me be honest, this has been consuming my brain. And I have just been watching a lot of videos about it to form my opinion about it and just to get the facts. Because you need the facts. Let's get into this video, okay? Okay. So, It's just not a good look to go and use your power against your fans and to take advantage of those said fans. Or let's speak about something else that you can use your power for, which is to discriminate against people who look different than you. And we've seen this in this past 2 months, a lot being brought up. And these things have been said about people like Jeffree Star, James Charles, which is the biggest example and has to do more with children. Because I don't care if they're 16, they're a child. They're a child. They are a child. What else? Who else? We've seen this said about David Dobrik, you know, David, you try to have a clean image, but you do very just disgusting things. It's weird. It is really weird. I don't understand it, but it's not up to me to understand. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this in a way that, you know, you don't only see this with YouTubers, you see this with celebrities, you see this with musicians. They take advantage of their fans. So this is what my advice is to people like James Charles. James Charles knows his audience is a young audience. He knows they are children. I don't care what anybody thinks. If you go into the analytics of your YouTube, you can see exactly who's watching your videos. Exactly who's watching your videos. So he knows who's watching his videos. And let's be honest. What type of content does he make? Content that targets children. Okay? We know this. You can look and see it's in plain sight. David Dobrik's the same way, so he's being a real bad example too to the younger audience. We know who David Dobrik targets, and he's not doing the best for the children. I don't think that people realize how much these people target children because they know they can make a good buck from children. And I know I could do that too, but I'd rather not target children unless their parents want them to watch me for some reason. That's the only way I want a child to watch my videos. That's just not only to protect me from these types of issues, but to also protect the children. Because I'm a mom, and I'm going to protect children. That's what I do. I don't only protect my child, I want to protect all children. Because I would want the next mom over there to protect my kid if I wasn't there to protect him. So, I protect children. I don't target children. I protect them. And so it really makes me mad when these people, I don't care how old the child is. I don't care how old the child is. If the child's 60, I don't care. His brain's not developed. And frankly, neither is yours. Because you're 21 years old. And your brain don't fully develop till you're 25. So maybe that's it. But I want to protect children. I don't want to target them. And I see this all the time. These words being brought up when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to musicians, when it comes to so many different types of celebrities. And it's sad that the word grooming has to come up, that they're grooming their victims. Like, how can you let your power go straight to your head that you no longer protect other people? How? I don't get that. I don't get it. It's like the humanity leaves the people. Anyways, people use their power to get certain things out of people in society. They use their power to instill fear into people in society. And until you see through it, you won't realize how much people do this. It's like it's a disgusting amount of people. It truly is gross if you think about it, especially with the people that they target. It's just really disgusting. It's just really gross. And then you have people also, because I mean, David, one of his best friends was dating a 16-year-old or 17-year-old at one point. And Trisha Paytas pointed out how that's disgusting, which it is. It's gross. Who is older than 18? Unless you're going to high school and you were dating that person before you turned 18. Who as an 18-year-old goes and dates someone younger than them like that? Unless, like I said, you just graduated high school, it's your only option. Like, okay, but other than that, you go away to college, I feel like, and then you start dating people your age or older. So those types of people who date people who are 16 and they're 25 years old. Huh? What? I get dating people that are younger than you. I get that. I get it. Some people like that. And it's so funny that he says, oh, I feel like, sorry, I'm going back to James because the shit that he says, it just don't make sense. He says, I'm 21, but I feel like I'm 40. And so I don't like to date people who are older than me. I'm puzzled. So you think a 40-year-old should be dating a 16-year-old? That is puzzling. That is like... Because look, so if you feel 40, then you know people your age and older than you even have a younger mentality than you. So why don't you just date people your age or older than you? If you feel like you're 40, because their age is older than you, that's why you won't date them? That makes no sense. You don't know how much that grinds my gears to hear stuff like that. Because it doesn't make sense if you fully think it through. Like, think what you're saying through. I know someone who is 30 years old who acts like they're 21. How about you date that person instead? Huh? Like, what? Because their age is older than you? Honey. No. It's not okay. It's not okay. No. And then, like, And I'm talking about society here. And then society wants to say things like, well, women used to get married at 14 and blah, 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 and bear children. Yeah, that was a different time back then. And also still disgusting. Still disgusting. And people still be doing that. Those, they're not, I mean, they are Mormons, but, that cult where he got arrested. The leader got arrested and he won't let nobody get married. But he was marrying children because they can bear children. Children bearing children. Good idea. Really. Great idea. That's why we are kind of messed up as a society, let's be honest. Like, some kids aren't meant to have children. And I'm not saying all teen moms are bad. It's just some people aren't meant to have children as a teenager. Like me, I don't think I would have been a good teen mom. I just wouldn't have. I needed those few more years to mature, even though, like James Charles, I feel like I'm older than everybody else too. You don't see me dating children. I don't be doing that. Like, it's just so weird. Just so weird. And then the excuses that they make to make it sound okay. It's not okay. Like, society literally wants to compare it to the olden days to make it sound okay. And then this started happening years ago. Yeah, we're getting into society now. They tried to say that people who like children are the same as LGBT. What? Are you that sick? You're that sick. You are that sick. The difference is that men who like men or women who like women consent and can consent to being in a relationship. That's the first difference. Children cannot consent, no matter how much older they feel they are. I felt like when I was a teenager, I felt like I was old. I was old as heck, but my brain wasn't fully there. And no, it just was like I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. Trust me. Trust and believe it. Children cannot choose to consent. It's just not a thing that they can do. And it actually hurts children mentally when adults go and prey and target them and groom them. And it's crazy that society is really trying to make things like this okay. It's not okay. It's not. Don't ever compare liking younger, not even younger people. You can like younger people, but liking children to a man liking a man. That's two different things. Don't you ever. That's despicable, actually. And it's disgusting that society thought that was okay back. It was in 2006, but they still do it to this day. You still see these people who are saying it's okay. It's not. It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness, and you need to keep your mental illness to yourself. Just like people who are victims of abuse need to stop the cycle, people who like children need to keep their mental illness to themselves, because that's an illness. Oh, I said the F word. I never want to be intimate with a child. Never in my life. It's just not a thing that I think about. There's so much to say about this topic, because it just brings me into a lot of different topics. And it's all about power and control. The problem with using your power to do bad things is the people that you hurt. People don't think about that, but it's really about the people that you hurt. That's the same thing with David Dobrik with this sus situation. There's so much to say about that. Like, not only the fact that he did that to Seth, but he was in a video with his ex-girlfriend, Liza Koshy, making racist sounds. I'm sorry, but you know how when people try to speak Chinese as a child? Like, I always thought that was weird when I was a child. Like, people doing the, I don't like to do it. See? It makes me feel uncomfortable. But he was making those sounds. If you didn't see it then, I don't know why you ain't seeing it now. Like, he makes fun of anybody who is different. Anybody who is different, and he uses his power to say that it's okay because it's for YouTube videos for money. Well, it's not okay. If that person isn't comfortable with it, that whole thing with that's not his name. Justin's not his name. Jason making out with that man? First of all, what? Jason? Like, I got so many questions for you. So many questions for you. You're a grown-ass man, and you thought that was okay? I got so much questions. I got so much questions for you. But anyways, those questions are for another day. And that's for when I meet. If I ever meet that man, I will ask him those questions because it's just puzzling in my brain. Like, I'm puzzled. I am puzzled about it. Like, my temple right here is like, what the actual heck? For many reasons. I don't know if you know the questions that I have for Jason, but I have a lot. Anyways, that is just the whole situation is weird and it's odd and it's absurd. Man, I gotta take a break. I can't continue this video. This video is making me sick thinking about all this. And I haven't even got to the victim blaming yet, and it's making me sick. So I'm just gonna take a minute. I'm just gonna take a minute, and I'm gonna go to breakfast with my father, and I'm gonna be right back. Because I haven't even made it to the victim blaming part. Because I'm just so stuck at this power, and what people be doing with their power is weird. It's just strange. It don't make sense. You feel like you're 40, but you're dating freaking teenagers. That's weird. And that's a certain word that I ain't gonna say. Because YouTube don't like the word, or else I would say it. But if you were 40 and you were dating, even if, I'm sorry, I gotta go before I say too much. I gotta go. Alright, I'm back. It's been a few hours. I had breakfast with my father, which was really nice. Love that man. My favorite man in the world. So, he's a good man, my dad. Anyways, I was comfortably watching Pokemon, and then I go on my phone and I go on YouTube, and yes, I watch Pokemon. Sorry, it brings me back to my childhood. Don't care. Love it. Sometimes you gotta be childlike, okay? And I like being childlike. I like being silly. I like I like it because it's healing to do things that you used to do as a kid. You know, it really does heal you. It does something. It cures that inner child. So, anyways, yeah. And then I went on my phone and I saw a video about Shane Dawson. And it reminded me about the video that I was filming because he is one of those people that used his power to take advantage of these innocent fans of his. And Jeffrey, James, all of them, plus a bunch of actors and musicians. This is what they do. This is what the world does. It uses its power. It's not really about money. Everybody talks about greed and money. It's not really about that for most of these people. It is about power, who they have power over. And if you don't believe me, just look at the world. Look at the example of the world. If you don't see what I see, I'm sorry, but you're blind. You are blind. Because it is all about power, and it's all about power and control. The government is set up the same way. They use fear to control us, and then they use their power in a way to influence things that don't really matter, like big businesses being protected by certain things, and tech companies and big pharma, and like all these things that don't really matter when all you need to do is put it all into humanity. But instead they're putting it into corporations who are greedy and are power hungry. And so it's just all around. You look at society and you just see that power struggle. And then when a victim comes out after they say, oh, this happened, whether this victim is telling the truth or not, that's one thing. We have a problem with that. I get that. But when a victim comes out and they say something is happening, you first believe the victim and you allow the perpetrator to explain themselves and explain their side and bring up their receipts. And you let both of them bring up the receipts so that then you can look at everything and decide what you want to decide. This is with anybody. And instead of letting the victim speak, they victim blame these victims to silence them. That's what it is. That's what victim blaming is. It's used to silence people, to keep people who don't deserve to be in power. People like David Dobrik on YouTube, people like James Charles, Jeffrey, all those people on YouTube. Why do we keep giving these people, these terrible people, these huge platforms to influence their fans who are impressionable children? Why do we keep doing that and accepting their behavior? We can't accept this type of behavior anymore. This type of behavior is bad behavior. I don't care how you were raised. I don't care if you were a childhood star that was a victim at one point and then you turned into the perpetrator. Is that a good thing? No, not a good thing. And then you want to do what they did to you, to silence you, which was blaming you and making you seem less credible, and you go and do it to your victim. That is unacceptable behavior. Victim blaming is unacceptable. And then those fans that believe what these people are saying about the victim blaming, right? How they're blaming the victim and their fans are okay with it. That is unacceptable behavior. It's not about canceling anybody for me. It really isn't. It's about people taking accountability for their actions. That's all I want. Is for all of these people in society, every single person that has victimized somebody in their life, that has been a perpetrator of some form of abuse or neglect, to take accountability for their actions. It's just like, if you think about it, parents that tell their kids, that's not how that happened. You're not remembering correctly. And what I have to say to those parents is, they might not really be remembering correctly. For example, if a child of yours is saying that they were lost at Disneyland when you were watching them the whole entire time, but think about how time was when you were a child. You thought 2 minutes was 10 days as a child, and that's me over exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Time felt longer when you were a child. So although you were watching your child and making sure no one was going to take your child and just watching them in a euphoric state, the point of the matter is they then became anxious and thought you weren't there. And that's why their perception is that they got lost in Disney World or Disneyland or wherever. And as a parent, that doesn't make you a bad parent because you are doing the right thing. But as a parent, what we need to do is we need to tell them our perspective, and we need to apologize that they felt the way that they did. We don't need to shame them for feeling that something else happened when it didn't. We explain the situation and we apologize that they felt that way, because that's validating their feelings. This is the same thing as a victim. Instead of victim blaming these people, what you need to do is validate them instead of validating the perpetrators, so that victims will continue to speak up. It's just insane. The world in which we live in, where it's okay to hurt other people for power. That shit's crazy. That shit's just real crazy, okay? I'm gonna get real with you. That don't make any sense to me. None at all. Doesn't make sense. I understand that there's some people who lie for the benefit of themselves. And again, you can make that judgment once everybody lays down their side of the story. But until then, you want to support the victim. That's the only right thing to do. Everybody perceives things different. That's not the problem. The problem is that instead of helping victims to speak up against these types of people, we silence them. And that's how people in power continue to be people in power. Okay? Do you get that? These sick people in power, let's think about it. We probably know a story about every single person in power doing something, how should I say this? Doing something that isn't good to somebody else. It's just not a good look. Society needs to change. Society needs to do better. Humanity needs to do better. Just find the humanity within you, please. Man, I just keep getting real mad, and I want to say other things, and it's really hard. I don't want to say something that allows someone to come and attack me, but there's a problem with power hunger, which comes off of a lot of things. Once you get money, money's not enough. You now have to take advantage of the little guy that gives you that money, by the way. That's how this world works, right? Does that sound right? That don't sound right to me. And with that, I'm gonna let you sit and think about it, because it just don't sound right to me. I want to thank you for watching this video. And I want to say, please join me on my next video. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let's have a conversation down below. And if you want to join my soul tribe, please subscribe. And if you want to get notified, press the bell button down below. And please, please, please remember to be kind. Just remember to be kind. Because the world needs kindness. And it starts with us. Bye. All right. Bye.